today. And we are going to have a fun show making a figure-8 earring out of 2-hole beads. We're going to combine super duos, diamond beads, and cabochon beads. And so the show started out totally different theme. I was going to do a bracelet on how to combine different shaped 2-hole beads. And then, as you know, if you've worked with 2-hole beads before, sometimes you just kind of follow their pathway and you see where the design ends up. Well, it didn't end up as a bracelet. It ended up as an earring. So I want to show you what we're going to make today. Hello, Tanya. And we have Thaisa and Michelle helping us. So this is the little figure-8 that we're going to do. Now, you could also do this as links in a bracelet or links in a necklace. So hello, Paulette and Tracy. Good morning, and Lou. So I wanted to wear something kind of neutral here and dark so that you could see how this would look if you wanted to do links for a necklace. Maybe you put little lengths of chain between it, maybe do some different things, because you could just make this as a singular link and then make a bunch of them together, or you could do the earring, which is what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna take off my favorite pair of earrings of all time now that we made a couple weeks ago together. I'm gonna take these guys off. I just wanna show you what this is gonna look like. So it's a really nice length and it's very lightweight. Even with all the beads that you're using, it doesn't weigh that much, so that's really fun. And I see BJ is here, and Marianne, and Laura, and Jane, and Annetta. Hello, everyone. I think I missed some names that popped up. Francie is here, and PJ, and Monica. Hello, guys. Kat and Linda, hello. Oh, it's 2026. I've been thinking a lot about the new year and 2026, and I think my Y word is joy. I think joy and community. Those are my 2 Y words, like helping each other, supporting each other, being part of a community, and then spreading joy. Even if there's really hard things going on in life, which I know we all have. So I just want to focus on happiness and joy. And I know we can't be joyful and happy all the time, but in times like this where we come together and we bead and recreate, we can have some joy. So I really want to focus on that for 2026. And I see Paulette is here. Hello. And Sherry, good morning. And good morning, everyone. Hello. And Christy. Hello. And Kelly. Hannah from Iceland. Hello, Hannah from Iceland. And Kathleen and Moni. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I was able to figure out how to scroll. Myra, hello. And LJ, hello, you guys. All right. So I'm going to flip my camera down pretty quickly so we can start beading today. As always, if you have questions, please put them here in the live chat, even if they're not about what we're working on today. Feel free to put them here. If they're a question about a different jewelry technique or like different sizes of seed beads, or even like background information about camera lighting or taking photographs of jewelry, feel free to put them in that chat of this live, because that's why we're here to support each other. And so if there's something you've been wondering about or struggling with, put it here in the chat, because it's such a good community that even if I can't answer the question, maybe someone else can, maybe Michelle, maybe Thaisa, but maybe someone else in the community can give tips and share advice as well. So please feel free to use that chat as a resource that goes beyond the project we're making. So I want to make sure that that's understood, that you can talk about anything in the chat. So that's one thing I want to make sure to point out today. Also, that quick reminder that if you are watching this right now on Facebook or YouTube, welcome. Please do feel free to put comments in that chat. It's just no one's monitor. Oh my goodness. No one's able to view that chat regularly. Sometimes we have people who are able to kind of glance at it, and sometimes we don't. We just don't have the manpower. So if you pop on over here to Art Beads and you put in the Art Beads chat, we'll make sure that we can see it and you can be part of this group over here. And then you get your questions answered, or you can contribute and share advice as well. And I see Laura just joined us, and Mary and Yolanda. I love it. Oh my goodness. Photographing jewelry would make a great class. You're right. That would be a good class. I don't see why we couldn't do that. That could be really fun. I could take some of the pieces that I've already made. I wouldn't be able to photograph them in the class because I use my camera for this live, but we could talk about props. We could talk about lighting. We could talk about just different elements that go into photographing jewelry. One tip I was given by a really good photographer friend of mine who used to be a photographer at a jewelry company, he said to always wear a white t-shirt when you are photographing jewelry, because you become the whiteboard, which is the bounce light. So like here I'm wearing black, this would cause more darkness. If I was to take a photo of a piece of jewelry right now wearing this black shirt, my photo would actually be darker than if I was to swap this out for a white t-shirt. And it's so simple and it makes so much sense, because you sometimes see photographers holding up like big whiteboards. So you become the physical whiteboard to bounce the reflective light off of yourself to highlight your jewelry. So I thought that was like the neatest tip, and so simple, but really brilliant. But we could do a whole class on that. That would be really fun. I like that idea. Leather wrapping. Oh, I like that. Okay, Rosetta. Thaisa can definitely put that in our list of ideas for future classes. I love it. Okay, I am going to flip the camera down. Okay, so then I saw LJ. I was beading a Super Duo bracelet with the chevron pattern, and I got to the end where the beads are backwards in the chevron finding. Oh, okay, how do I fix that? Okay, so I think what you have to do is you have to just accept that there's a little bit of your bracelet that is going the other direction, because I know exactly what you're saying. You've got this great chevron happening. So you've got essentially this V, but then you've got a well on one side and the other goes into your clasp. So I think you have to just create like a diamond with the Super Duos right where your clasp is. It just means that you are breaking that pattern a little bit, but I think that's your solution for making sure you put the clasp on. I love it. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. I'm thinking maybe we should do the photography class. I think that would be really fun. And we can all share advice. I could bring out props. I will tell you, I always, if I can, I photograph outside. You can see my little table when I flip my camera down. I always get much better photos outside. I also rarely photograph on pure white. Pure white is really hard to translate into the final image as white without blowing it out, like without doing some like editing where you are changing your white balance. And we could talk about all that, but if you photograph on like cream, or you have a postcard, or you have something else as your foundation, it actually really helps to kind of balance all the colors in your image and makes it look brighter. So that's good. Oh, but I like it. I think we've got a new class idea. All right, a couple other quick notes before we begin. If you like what you are seeing, you're always welcome to share this video even to yourself. There's that little share button. There's the heart button, which gives me little floaty hearts. And of course, everything that I'm working with is loaded into that shopping bag icon, like a curated little collection for you to look at. And I added a few extra colors too, because I like colors. There's lots of color variations. Okay, so I am going to flip my camera down so we can start. And my husband just came in. So if you heard our creaky floors from our house from the 50s, that's what that was. He just snuck in. Here we go. All right, so if you see my backyard, I'm gonna tilt my camera a little bit. Let's see if I can do it. Do you kind of see here? Let me move my light. See that table out there? That is my photography table. I use that to photograph almost everything. And then if it's the wrong time of day, I tend to go into my side yard. I will tell him, guys. Yeah, I knew he had to go out for a school event, and I said, it's okay. Even if we hear you come in, it's okay. Oh, thank you, Laura. It has a ton of weeds right now from all the rains that we got. Oh my goodness. I have a project ahead of me. Okay. He should make a special appearance. It's usually my youngest that likes to come in. You see his little hands. Okay, so I'm going to show you again what we're going to work on. And this is our finished piece here. So the 2-hole beads that you see here are Super Duos. We love our Super Duos. Diamonds, 2-hole diamonds, and these cabochon beads. And the cabochon beads are flat on the back. So that's what they look like on the back. And so, oh, Linda, I love it. Fairy decorations at the Dollar Tree this week. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, so this is what we're going to work with. So essentially, if you want to create this in any color scheme that you like, you're going to need a tube of cabochons. You're only going to use 2 per earring or pendant, whatever you're going to make it into, because this could easily be a pendant as well. So you're going to need a tube of the 2-hole cabochons. You're going to need a tube of these diamond beads that have 2 holes. You're going to need a tube of super duos. And you're going to need 1, 2, or I mean, it's really just a few beads you're going to use, maybe 20 per earring, of size 11/0 Toho round. So these are the 4 different types of beads that you're going to need to make this project. So super duos, diamonds, cabochons, and an 11/0 round. For our stringing material, we are going to be using my favorite. We're going to be using Wildfire. 0.006. I just like the body that this has. So this is something that's kind of good to note is this is my personal favorite, but if you really like bead weaving with Nymo, or you have another favorite, you like Fireline, go ahead and use it. You don't have to use this. This is what I prefer, and I just prefer it because it's a little bit stiffer and thicker. So it gives I feel like my finished piece is a little less wiggly. So it's a little bit more solid, but go ahead and use what you're comfortable with. So it comes in gray, it comes in frost, and it comes in black. I'll probably use black no matter what, just so we can see it a little bit better here on camera. And then we're gonna use a 10 or 11 beading needle, whichever you prefer, or whatever needle you just find works well for you. I know, Rosetta, I love Wildfire too, I do. All right, and then for the length of Wildfire, what we're going to do, and this has become my new cheat. So my beading mat here is 11 by 14. So what I have been doing to figure out my thread allowance is I've been using the knowledge that it's 14 inches this way. So I'm going to do 14, and then I'm going to do 11. Which gives me an easy 25 inches, and I didn't have to bring out my ruler. So we have 25 inches of Wildfire on here. And then, Thaisa reminded us that we are doing actually a special right now to a free economy domestic shipping when you spend $26 or more. And then I did see on the website today, there's a special seed bead Valentine mix, like a Valentine seed bead mix. That's a free gift with any purchase. So that's nice too. All right. Sorry, Ruth Alice. I usually try to. Thaisa and Michelle, can you put this beading mat? It's the treasure mat, and it's the large size in the shopping bag. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think to do this earlier to use it. And then sometimes you need less. So you could just do the 2 across, and it would be 22 inches. 2 across this way would be 28 inches. It's handy to have. Oh, thank you, Michelle. All right, so what we're gonna do is we need to pick a color combo. We can do the same one as we did here. I think I moved my lighting a little bit. So we can do this one. This is grays and blues and the Pacific Fig, which I think I love that color. It's kind of a pinky purple, but we don't have to do this same one. What we can do is we can pick out from my collection here if we wanted to do something maybe with some turquoise, maybe do like a turquoisey bronze. I was playing with some color combos earlier. We could do like a green center. So we're doing more blues, greens, bronzes. So we could do that. We could also put like this pretty hazel color in here. Oh, yes to turquoise. Okay, let's do turquoise. And then we've got this, and then we can do like a shiny metallic seed bead, or we can keep up with the green theme and do, oh, that's pretty. What do we think of that? Because that green is gonna look nice against that turquoise. So that kind of a pretty muted, we've got turquoise, we have greens, and we have a little bit of bronzy. That could be really pretty. Okay, let's do that. Of course, there's so many different colors of these super duos. Of course, I think there's got to be hundreds of colors of super duos. There's a lot of colors of these cabochon beads as well, and also the diamond beads. So you really can just, like, the sky's the limit for your color combo on this one. Okay, so we're gonna pour out a few seed beads on our beading mat, and we're gonna pour out a few of this So I gotta open these guys. I always struggle with seed bead tubes. I guess that's good though, because you wouldn't want them to be loose because they would spill out, but it is a little hard sometimes to get these guys open. Oh, this is really pretty on the beading mat. This is gonna be a lovely combo. All right, and then the cabochons as well. Okay, so the cabochons are really neat. This is what they look like. They're like little, they look like pearl buttons to me, like old-fashioned vintagey pearl buttons, but they do have those 2 holes and they are flat on the back. If you do any bead embroidery, they're really neat to be able to embroider around because you can stitch them right onto your foundation instead of having to necessarily glue like a cabochon on. So they're a neat little bead. I feel like they're kind of like a little unsung hero. Like there's a lot of things you can do with them. And they're kind of a fun thing to play with. Okay, so what we're going to do is find my cut piece, and we're going to get a needle here. And there we go. So what I do is I pinch my wildfire to flatten the tip. It just kind of flattens it out a little bit so that you can get it through the eye of the needle. And it just makes it easier. So if you like wildfire but struggle with getting it onto that needle, this is a good tip. Oh no, Rosetta. I can absolutely see that happening too. I can visualize that. I've struggled with so many. I've broken so many fingernails trying to get a tube of seed bead open. Okay, so what we're going to start with here is we're going to start with one of our cabs. And actually, I'm going to put a little stopper bead on here. It's going to be a little easier. So we're going to do a little bead as a stopper bead. And we're going to put it about 8 inches from the end. We're going to remove it pretty quickly in the process of doing this, but we're just going to start with it. Yeah, this is wildfire in black. It comes in frost, gray, and black. I don't know if it comes in any other colors. Those are the 3 colors I always tend to have on hand. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our cabochon, just like so. So we're going through one of its 2 holes. And then I'm going to pick up 3 diamond beads, followed by 5 super duos. Ooh, that turquoise is very pretty. Followed by 3 more diamonds. So this is the sequence we have on our needle. So 3 diamonds, 5 super duos, 3 diamonds. Slide those on down to your cabochon. And then what we're going to do is we are going to come back to over here. Now, you have 2 choices. You can leave your stopper bead on and take it off at the end. I might do that one. Or you can just tie a knot to your 2 ends right now, and that actually works as the beginning of your finishing technique. I think I'm going to leave the bead on there for right now. That's what I did when I made the sample, so I'm going to do that here. And so now we're going to go back through the same hole that we went through to form a loop. And when we pull it, all those beads come together like that. Now what we're going to do is we are just going to go up to the second hole of our diamond, and we're not going to add a bead right here. I did experiment adding beads right here and it just didn't sit right. So we're just going to accept that there's just a little thread line right there. And we are going to go in through that second hole of that diamond. Oh, Linda, yes, good eyes. I was just told that myself, Becky, and Deb were all shipped samples of those new bead mixes by Megan. So we are going to be playing with those in the coming weeks, in the coming month. So I'm very excited to see those. Okay, and now I'm just going to go to the next. So I picked up a seed bead and go over to the next diamond. Here you go. So you see how that just kind of sits between your 2 diamonds and helps it to fan out. And I'm going to add another seed bead between every single bead because all of these are 2-hole beads. So there is a second hole. If I can kind of turn this, there's a second hole waiting for me every step of the way. Can you use a regular pearl? Yes. I'm trying to think where your 2 holes. The only problem with a regular pearl versus the 2 holes is we're going to do this exact same fan on this side. If you've only got 1 hole you're going through, I think it's going to be really crowded right here where both are exiting. So that would be my only hesitation if you tried to use a single hole bead like a traditional pearl. You might have to modify the design to somehow accommodate, like maybe you get rid of this diamond here and just have maybe an 8-0 seed bead, something that gives you enough wiggle room to get away from that hole so that you can have 2 fans coming out. Great question. So hopefully I explained that right. I think that I'm just a little worried about the crowding right there. So here's what this looks like. I like that green and turquoise is very pretty together. So we're just going to keep going. And we're just going to keep adding. And what this does is also stabilizing our beads very nicely as we go up and around the outer edge. So if I was not doing this on camera, I would probably use gray, wildfire, or frost for this. Probably the gray, like I did with the demo. Black is definitely easier to see as we're doing this together, but you do see the black a little bit more than you would see the gray. Oh, good. Okay, Tracy, I'm glad I explained that right. The seed beads are just 11-0 round Tohos. It's pretty much the only bead I use these days. Every once in a while, I'll use an Ico or something, but I tend to use 11s or 8 rounds. 6s are beautiful too. But I love this. It's like a little halo fan kind of coming out of here. So I have to tell you guys, I went down the funnest rabbit hole last night. I was searching William Morris fabric prints on Etsy. That is a dangerous search. I think I was looking for like 2 hours. I didn't mean to. I just got this notion that I wanted to look up William Morris fabric prints. And wow, I was captivated for hours. Oh, hello, Pat. Okay. Oh, thank you, Francie. Okay, so I want to show you what we have right now. So this is one side complete. Now this little bead here is our stopper bead that we're going to be getting rid of here in a little bit. So it just kind of sits off to the side. I can pull it to the back. So what I like about this design is we're going to create a figure-8. So we're going to create this right here. So this is the design we're going to create. But I think there's also a lot of possibility of just leaving it like this and then maybe doing something simple up top instead of doing a full other rotation or halo. So I think you can take this same idea and you can really modify it with how you want to work with it. Definitely use this as like a jumping off point and then see where the beads take you. Oh, I love that, Rosetta. I love fabric. There's something about buying fabric. I just can't help myself. And I don't do a ton of sewing. I'll sometimes make like little zippered pouches or something. But just the patterns of the fabric are so addictive. Oh, I know, Hannah, so many beautiful patterns. I think he's my favorite. I don't even know what you would call him, like textile artist, but I also know that there's wallpapers and there's prints and everything else. I think you could. So Terry, I think you could. What you would have to do is if you wanted cabochons on either side, I think you would leave out maybe this center super duo and put a cabochon there instead. Or you would put a little bead right here. So you'd leave this one out. You would put a bead right here and your cabochon would start here so that it has another 2 holes available on this side. So, because if you put it right in here as the full cabochon with a 2-hole here and a 2-hole here, or a hole here and a hole here, you wouldn't have your link ability. So I think what you want is you would want it to be sitting kind of on the edge. So you would take out that super duo in the middle, put just a little seed bead for the first hole, and then this would start here, and then you could create links. Yeah, I think this would be a really beautiful bracelet. I think you can do this as a necklace, lots of different things. All right, so we are at the end of our rotation, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through that same hole again. So I'm just going through it, going through that cabochon bead. And then, so my bedroom closet is lined with William Morris wallpaper design, and as is my front hall closet. So when you open up my front hall closet to put like coats in, and the doors are all lined with the beautiful wallpaper. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to jump over to our next 2 holes. So we're just going to go through it and go down. And now we're on the other side. So we're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to pick up 3 diamonds, 5 super duos, and 3 diamonds. Okay. And now we're going to just arch around and go back through our same hole, like so. And I should note that both diamond beads, these 2-hole diamond beads, and the 2-hole super duos do not have a right or wrong side. So you don't have to think about how you're picking them up. So that does make life a lot easier by combining these 2 particular types of 2-hole beads. Yeah, you know what, Moni? You could. I think you could. You could do a jump ring to connect your links. You would just have to kind of maybe put that jump ring in shortly after you string this and before you tighten your round. It might be easier to get the jump ring in then. Oh, good, Pat. Well, I hope, we have a lot of these. I love these earrings. I love doing 2-hole beaded earrings. So that's a great place to get back into bead weaving because they don't take that long. And it's kind of like instant gratification as opposed to a really long bead weaving pattern. So I enjoy the little medallions and earrings and things like that. Okay, so I just jumped up to my second row here. And they're all wiggly to begin with. Until you get that seed bead in to stabilize them, they're all wiggly. So you just are going to get that seed bead in between them. And we're just going to do the exact same thing. Laura, I'm with you. I love the instant gratification. I have a bead embroidered piece that I've literally been working on for 10 years. And I haven't gotten that far on it for 10 years worth of labor. It's really just a small swatch, but it's too daunting. Sometimes those really big projects, it's hard to pick them up because you know what a time commitment it is. And we don't always have that time available. So I love little medallions and links and earrings. Pat, I'm with you. I am totally with you. Okay, so we're just going around and we're making that figure-8. Yeah, time is a tough one. There just never seems to be enough to do everything that we want to do. Okay, so we're just working our way around with our little seed beads. Oh, good, Rosetta, I'm glad. Well, and I'm glad everyone is also kind of bouncing ideas off on how you could make this into a bracelet. Where could you make the link point? How could you do it so that you could have multiples of these linked together? Because I do think it would be a really pretty bracelet too. All right, guys, I'm going to go so I'm on my last little diamond here. Going to go through it, and then I'll go through my cabochon again. And then we'll have created the link, but the link is not currently able to be a piece of jewelry yet because there's no way of attaching it to anything. So that'll be our next task. So we're going to go through here. So we have our figure 8. Now, also, I was playing with this idea because it's just what we do, right? How pretty would this be as a bow? It looks just like a bow. And you can even do, if you wanted to, like you can see the tails of my wildfire right here. You could bead these and you can have like a ribbon, like a beaded, like a bow right here. And that wouldn't be that hard to do. So that's kind of an interesting idea too, because it does work as a bow or a figure 8 or owl eyes. Yes, owl eyes. I like that one. Oh my gosh, there's got to be a bead that you could do as like the beak of the owl. And then this could be a beaded owl face. I love it. All right, so yeah, keep thinking of what you want to do with this because we're talking about a lot of different ideas. We can do bows, we can do owls, we can do bracelet links, we can do necklace links, we can do earrings, lots and lots of different things. Okay, so now what I want to do, I'm going to show you where we're at in our progress against the sample. So here's the sample. So what I did to make it into an earring is I added another cabochon right here. And I did a little, that little trick of putting a jump ring into a seed bead. Now you can also, here again, we're talking about modifying. You don't have to add this cabochon. You can just add a little arch of seed beads right here at the top and put the jump ring right through one of those and totally get rid of the second cabochon. So it's up to you. So again, an easy way to modify this. Okay, I'm going to do it the same as the sample just so we can see it. Okay, so we went through our second hole. So we're back through the cabochon. And what I want to do is I want to be able to now go back through my beadwork so that I exit the middle super duo. Yeah, I can show you what it would look like with an arch. That'd be easy because that's going to be easy to put in and then take out. All right, so here we go. So we're going to go through here. Keep going. So we're just working our way through the beads we've already added. And then we're just going to keep doing this until we get to that center super duo and go through it, but not the seed bead next to it. Oh, that would be a kite-shaped bead. That's a good idea. Okay, so here you go. And so this is where we're at now. Now, if we wanted to, let me see, turn the piece sideways and make a wider bracelet. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that would work too. Very interesting. Okay, so a cab at the top with a ring at the bottom. You could do that. You can add a cab here, here. You have lots of choices of where you're going to want to put a cab. If you wanted to not put a second cab and you just wanted to do a little arch of seed beads, just put 3 seed beads onto your needle. And I'll pull this out, but let's go ahead and see what it looks like. And you're going to go back through that same middle super duo that you exited. And pull down. And then you have this little arch at the top. And you would put a jump ring through that bead right there. And you would put the jump ring through it before you do any other beading or tighten it up, because it's much, much easier to do that when your string is loose. See how you can kind of pull that string out and isolate that bead, and you would slip a little 4mm 22 gauge jump ring through it. All right, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that out so we can add the cab. And let me just take this off so I don't accidentally knot it in there. Yeah, the bead mixes for Valentine's Day are so pretty. So lovely. Oh, you're welcome, Tracy. I think that's a really nice way of finishing it as well. It's a little bit more simple. Okay, so now if we want to finish it with another cab, we're just going to go, so we're going to look at this because now we're going to have to pay attention to right and wrong side. So what we want is we want it to be the domed part facing upwards. And so when we go through, we want to make sure we go through that hole right there because we're on that side of our super duo. Okay. All right. And so this is what we've got thus far. And now we're going to put on our 3 seed beads up here. And we're going to go back down through the other hole of that cab. Oh, hello, Sharon. And we're going to pull down, and then we're going to go through our super duo, and only our super duo again, to anchor it. And then we're not going to be done with this yet. We're going to do an extra anchoring because I didn't feel like that was secure enough for me. So I wanted to go through it again. But before I do anything else, I'm going to add my jump ring to this middle bead. And I will say that sometimes it doesn't go through, and it's usually a little irregularity or an extra thick coating in the particular seed bead. And if you just pull it out, like take out that little segment of beadwork and try having it go through a different seed bead of the same tube, same color, just sometimes, I don't know, it's a little thick on the inside and a jump ring won't go through it. So if you've ever run into that, just calmly take it out and try a different seed bead. So what we want to do is we want to isolate this bead right here. And we're going to put the jump ring through it, and yep, and it went right through. And that's a 4mm 22 gauge. And I did put into the shopping bag it in gold and silver and antique brass, the 422s. They're a really good size jump ring. Okay, so then we're just going to close it on up. And that's going to be how we connect our earring finding. So let's just see. So for some reason it's really tight in there. So it's having a hard time pulling down. So I'm just working with it. And there we go. I'm just going to keep working until it's nice and tight. Okay. And this is, you can see what that looks like right there. Sharon, I totally hear you. Maybe try a bigger needle. I have had to go from size 13 needles to size 10 or 11s, just because as, you know, just life happens, I have a harder time threading the smaller size needle. So maybe just try like a size 10 if you're struggling. Okay, so now I want to go through this again. Now, a quick note is once you put that jump ring in there, you cannot get your needle through that bead again. So I'm going to add a seed bead just as like a little bridge right here. And I'm going to go up through my 2-hole cab. It's really hard to thread needles sometimes. I mean, I can't believe I've switched to a higher prescription of reading glasses and bigger needles. We do what we have to. Okay, so now I can't go through these beads again, so I'm just going to jump over to my second hole on my 2-hole cab and go down it. So there'll just be a tiny little discreet thread bridge right there. And now I'm going to add one more seed bead, like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through my super duo one more time. So we do quite a few passes through that center super duo. And we are done. So all we have to do now is tie it off. So it is interesting. You could also do this technique down here and hang a dangle. Maybe this is a good connection point if you're making this into a bracelet. Maybe you can connect them here somehow. Lots and lots of ideas. 22, let me read that question. So the 22 gauge is really thick. They're not necessarily made to go through these seed beads. I just find that they fit. I can't get any thicker gauge through a size 11-0 round seed bead. 22 is as thick as I can get through it. There are 24 gauge jump rings, but they're really hard to find. I don't know, I don't see them that often. So 24 would fit as well. But 22 is definitely the thickest that's going to fit through that 11-0 seed bead. Oh, Rosetta, I'm with you. New reading glasses and a bigger needle. Absolutely. Okay, so now what we just need to do is tie off our thread. So we're gonna work it into our weaving a little bit like we always do. So just retrace your steps a little bit. When you get to a convenient spot, you'll just go under your thread bridge. And make a little loop. Go through it. Pull, there's a little knot. I always like to do a double knot. And magnifiers, yes. And good lighting. Oh my goodness. I used to be able to bead like on the couch at night watching a show with kind of dim lighting. Not anymore. Now I need to bring over a light to make sure that there's a light next to me. So good readers, bigger needles, good lighting. All right, so we're gonna keep going. I'm just gonna do one more little discrete knot right here. And I'm thinking back now to our conversation at the beginning of this live of a class all on photography for photographing jewelry. I think that is a great idea. I have a light box I can bring out too that I can talk about. I don't use it very often. I do find my outside photos look a little better than my light box photos, but I think it would be fun to talk about that too. Oh, Tracy, we are. It's a fact of life. Okay, I'm going to trim my tail. So that one's done. And then I'm going to go back in here, and I remember I had that bead with the bead stopper, and I'm going to pull it out so you can just pull it off of the string like so. And now what we'll do is we'll rethread our needle. And this is a size 11. I originally had 10s pulled for this show, and I don't know where I put them. So hopefully I'll get it threaded as we're talking about this. There we go. It really does help to kind of pinch down the end of the wildfire. Sharon, I totally agree. Oh my gosh. And it does kind of sneak up on you too. It's like, wait, what? That didn't used to be like that. All right, so I've got just that loose thread. I'm gonna weave it into my beadwork. Twix is napping in her bed behind me. She's taking her snooze. The boys went back to school this week, and she's been very bored. She has been like, where are my playmates? So she tends to nap, I've noticed, while they're in class. And then she wakes up and plays with them as soon as they get home. So I'm just doing a couple discrete little knots. And that should do it. There was a couple. And then I'll just weave in my tail a little bit more and then trim it. And then we'll just are going to add an earring hook and we're done. And it could be a pendant. It could be an earring. It could be a bracelet. I like the idea of the side bracelet too. That's interesting. Lots of fun. And then let's see. We're going to open up our earring hook. Oh, are you getting the rain now, Sharon? Oh my gosh, we got so much. I have so much yard work to do, but it's too wet out there. It's just soaked. All right, here is our finished earring here. It's our figure-8 earring. And oh, it looks so neat in the two different color patterns. So this is, I think, really fun to show how different it can look with your choice of colors. And then if anyone missed it at the beginning, you're going to need 4 different types of beads for this project. You're going to need cabochons. So these are 2-hole cabochons. You are going to need diamond, 2-hole diamond beads. You're going to need super duos, a tube of super duos. Oh my gosh, that would be cool too. Look at that. And then you're going to need a tube of 11-0 seed beads. So you'll need the diamond duos, the cabochons, the super duos, and the seed beads. And there's got to be hundreds of colors to choose from between all of these beads. Well, I definitely know with the seed beads, but there's a lot of diamond colors. There's a lot of cabochon colors. There's a lot of super duo colors. And of course, there's a lot of the seed beads in that size 11-0 round. So just pick your favorite colors and then you can make the design. I tried to put some extra colors in the shopping bag just to give variety and ones that I thought were really, really pretty. But there's even more on the website too. Oh, sure, absolutely. So here we go. So we've got this earring right here, and then we have this earring right here as well. So those are our two. Oh, and Michelle's saying you can get fancy and use a seed bead blend for this. Absolutely. Oh, hi, Linda from Westport. Oh, Westport, Washington. I love it. Oh, and Diane is here too. Yeah, I can see these as links as well. I think they would be really neat doing a linked bracelet together. And maybe, I don't know, it could even be a situation where it's easier to make them as separate links and then connect them somehow in here, like after you've made them. That could be interesting too. What is the large loop scissors? Oh, these guys. So these are my little scissors that I use to cut thread. These are little tulip scissors. So, and I think I've got two pairs. One has this like little swan pattern, and then the other one is plain. They both work really well for cutting threads, just for the snipping of the like the wildfire and the Nymo and the 1G. Okay, and then Diane, I'm just reading yours. But I still understand that the big eye needles have smaller eyes than the needles you're using now. Oh, you pull them apart. So with the big eye needle, when you get it, it looks like one solid unit, right? But it's actually got all this air in there, and you pull it apart. And there is your eye. So if this was a big eye needle right here, the eye would be literally this big. It's kind of crazy. But when you first look at them and you just look at the packaging, they look like one single needle here. Yeah, they do bend a lot. That's a great comment from Sharon. So I like big eye needles for like textiles, heavier cords, things like that, like an Eslon. I don't tend to use them very much for bead weaving because they do get really bendy. Great questions. Oh, Michelle's saying my scissors are sold out, but we have the other big loops. Yeah, Diane, when you look at the picture of a big eye needle, is not what it actually looks like in person. I mean, it does just look like a regular needle when you get it, but then you pull it apart and it's this giant eye on the inside. Great question though. There's not a PDF of this pattern. I just came up with it and did it here in this live, but the show will be archived and saved, so you can always go back and rewatch the replay. And then the replay becomes available just shortly after we say goodbye today. So it will be available here. Yes, so Rosetta is saying make sure you get a fine one to go through the 11s and 15s. Absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to flip my camera up. Oh, good. Sharon, you can also share. I've been told the little share icon, the little triangle, you can share it to yourself. And then that somehow I think makes it really easy to retrieve as well. So, all right, guys, I'm going to flip my camera up. Thaisa just reminded us that we are having that free economy domestic shipping when you spend $26 or more, and every purchase is getting a free Valentine seed bead mix too. So that's really fun. So these were fun to do. I am absolutely in love with this color pattern. I love that. So that's a good one. I love that, those colors, the turquoise, the green, and the bronze. Really pretty, but have fun looking at all the different colors that you can, see on the website. There's lots and lots. I would say maybe start with your cabochon color and work out from there. That's maybe an easy way to go about it. Oh, interesting. I do, if you did triangle beads instead of diamond beads, I don't know if they would be this long. I want to say triangle beads are a little narrower, but it could be interesting because then what you would almost get is like a pointed triangle design up top here. I think it would be flatter on the back and then it would be more pointed on the top. That could be interesting though. Be worth giving a try. If you've got some triangles, it would be worth trying. So, oh, okay. I know what you're saying, Pat. The top hole would be empty. Aren't there I think there are triangles though with like, it's the triangle and then you've got a hole here and a hole here. And then there's also the triangles where you have a hole here, here, and here. So I think if you use the type with the holes down only at the bottom, You might be able to do it with this design, but I like your idea because I think you can also take the same design and just play with the spacing a little bit, but you'd be able to do different types of 2-hole beads. I think you can play with your different shapes. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip the camera up real quick so we can say goodbye for today. It's really, I hope you have fun with this. It's not hard to do. I always like doing these ones. They're like we were talking about, the instant gratification. It's not too hard, it's not too long. So it's always my favorite type of projects. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera. All right, thank you guys for joining me. That was a lot of fun. I am going to now spend the next little bit making the matches to these, but you can see what they would look like. So it's really a nice, I think it's a nice size. I tend to go for bigger ideas, not bigger ideas, bigger jewelry, like a little bit longer, but this is a really nice scale. I think it's very wearable. Oh, good, good. Okay, I'm glad, Diane and Laura, that's wonderful that you guys have a bunch of different ideas. So have fun with it. If you make something with it, post to our Facebook page, Serious Art Beaters, especially if you do a bracelet or a necklace. I would love to see how you connected them together. So that would be a fun challenge. Someone should definitely try to do the bracelet design or the necklace and see how you can connect them, and then post it to our Facebook group of Serious Art Beaters. All right, thank you guys. Oh, thank you, Pat. We did these a couple, now maybe a week ago now, 2 weeks ago, and these are just my now new favorite. So I have to wear a lot of black because I want to wear these all the time. I just love these earrings that we made. But I love the ones we made today too. So let's keep in mind the word joy as we go about the beginning here of 2026. You guys bring me lots of joy. I had kind of a hard 18 months with some health matters, at being able to come on here every couple times a week and do these lives and focus on the jewelry and the projects and the creating and the community really helped me a lot for the last year and a half. So thank you guys. And I appreciate being able to do this and share with all of you, and that we all come together and we create. So have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you on Saturday. Bye, everyone. All right. Oh, thank you, Chris. I'm doing better now. Thank you. Thank you. You know, sometimes in life we have challenges. And so, but thank you so much. This has been great to be able to come here and do these lives and share. So thank you guys. All right. See everyone later.